Okay, today I would like to talk about how to enable Wi-Fi configuration, how to save Wi-Fi configuration into Nodemcu. So normally when we develop any IoT solution, we need to think how to connect the device to the local access point. So today I would like to show how to enable that features. So here, for example, the idea is that when you have one IoT devices, you need to be able to pre-configure the device. So for example here, I do have one Nodemcu configured with the codes. It will basically enable the access point mode. So the user need to pre-configure, need to connect to the access point mode enabled by the Nodemcu and access the configuration mode through the web interface. So for example here, the web interface for Nodemcu is by default 192.168.4.1. okay, so now the Nodemcu itself is in access point mode. So if you like to use, you have to save the configuration. So for example, the Wi-Fi password is now the Wi-Fi access point name is UM Wi-Fi guest, and password is 0. So when you click on submit, you need to reboot the device, and then the Nodemcu access point mode will be no longer available. Okay, so Wi-Fi password and then the IP address written by the serial monitor. So if I enter the IP address provided, it should return Wi-Fi mode, current Wi-Fi SSID. If you like to change to a different SSID, if you like to have the Nodemcu to connect to a different SSID or different Wi-Fi access point. So the algorithm started with the following. Alright, so it start read data from the memory. Okay, so read data from memory. So there are 512 memory address, and then the first 20 allocated for the SSID, and another 20 for the password. Okay, so here you just print out back the username and password, and then if the SSID and password successfully read, the algorithm continue to test the Wi-Fi, okay, using the SSID and password provided when the Nodemcu reading its own memory. So if test Wi-Fi is successful, it will basically print out Wi-Fi connected, and the server mode return to Wi-Fi, and it turn off the LED. This is on Wi-Fi mode, and then launch the web. Else means that if the connection is not successful, the Wi-Fi not connected, access point mode will be enabled. So this is the part that the access point mode will be enabled, and LED will be turned on, means that it basically indicate that the Nodemcu now in access point mode. So the web is basically the following: create web server. So there are two types. Web type 0 means that this is in access point mode, and web type 1 is in Wi-Fi mode. So in this mode, basically it basically enable the content, the HTML content that will return back to user. So whenever user try to access to that access point to Nodemcu, either in access point mode or in Wi-Fi mode, it will basically return the same document to change SSID and password. There are two other options here, just to clear the setting and also to clear the data, to clear the content of the memory. If user would like to write the data, it will basically write the data using the following method. Okay, let's start with clearing the data first. You need to clear everything because the memory allocated is 512 and 40 of the memory address belongs to the SSID and password. So the first thing that you need to do is clear all the memory first, so that you get fresh, clean memory. So 512 memory address can be cleared using this instruction. Okay, to write data, so this is write data, so SSID and password. So begins writing from 0 to 20, writing the SSID, and then from 20 to 40 writing the password. Okay, so in the loop we enable server to handle, so that Nodemcu will listen to any incoming connection from user. Okay, so those are the algorithm. So if you can download this from the link below. So those are the basic idea how to enable the configurations, first time configuration for user to access the access point using the web server configuration. But you need to make sure that the algorithm, all the instruction is being handled by loop, and in this loop it will always turn on the web server, and that is basically not recommended, because when we turn on the web server and also turn on the Wi-Fi configuration all the time, the Wi-Fi connection all the time, it will consume a lot of battery, a lot of resources. So you need to make sure that whenever this is all based on your algorithm, so everything depends on your loop. Okay, because your loop is basically the cycle that it takes for the instruction to go through. So be cautious on your loop. Make sure that within your loop it will only execute fast or only needed instructions, such as collecting data from sensor or waiting for input from user. So those are the instructions that you might need to look into. So establishing connection with the Wi-Fi access point is also important, but depend on the type of the application that you like to do. Alright, so that is all.